Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about my non-seasonal arena defense because I've recently changed to this defense about a bit over a week ago, and after changing to it I've managed to hold my position in rank 2 of our server a lot better, and it is now getting wins against a lot of the people who were previously able to clear my defense. And even with RNG it had the potential, and it has gotten 2 wins against our top ranking player Splash, who has really highly upgraded heroes, being Paragon 3 and Paragon 4 heroes on his account, and we have one replay that we will show of that as well. But first I want to talk about the team and basically explain the positioning of it, which is kind of important. So first of all, we are running a Scarlita stall team, which I think is one of the best type of arena defenses you can run. The idea is that you keep your entire team alive. You have the insane sustained healing and protection damage reduction from Haven's ultimate cast. You have the sustained healing and haste buff from Damien. And you have Thorin, who also on his own is able to actually deal a lot of damage and sometimes kill enemies even before Scarlita descends onto the battlefield. So Thorin is really the best tank for this comp. I know Granny maybe can be a little bit more difficult to take down, but Thorin offers a lot of damage, and so I think he's just better here. And also, not to mention that he has multiple lives and he's more difficult for an Odie to clear and more annoying for an Odie comp than a Granny, in my opinion. We also have him soul packed in the Haven, because really Haven is our priority target we want to protect, because if the enemy can somehow nuke down our Haven at the beginning of the fight, it gives them a big advantage, because then we don't have as much sustain and damage reduction over the course of the fight. So we have a lot of ways of protecting her. We have the Enlightening spell to prevent any Rainier swap of her and allows her to not be crowd controlled or immobilized, so she can continuously regenerate energy and cast her skills and normal attacks. We have the soul pack to protect her, of course, and we have Damien heals as well as her own healing, all as ways of protecting her. Then we have Iron in the team, and I think Iron is going to be the best option for this team for a couple of reasons. Number one, with his immobilization of his ultimate, he will buy more time for your team, which is good in a stall team. But number two, he groups up the enemies, which is really good for Thorin and Scarlita. Because if enemies are grouped up all around Thorin, his damage reflect and his ultimate cast can hit multiple enemies and sometimes the entire team. So Iron ultimate into Thorin ultimate is a pretty crazy combo, and same thing for Scarlita. She wants the enemy team all grouped up into a clump so that when she descends she can use her ultimate and her subsequent skills to wipe enemies off the battlefield. So Iron really synergizes with that. But now we come to the positioning, because these are the exact same heroes I ran in my previous arena defense, but it was not doing as well and it was getting cleared a lot more by other people, and it was because of the positioning. And I had my Thorin positioned up higher, and I feel like in this team composition is better if Thorin is more as back as you can get. Maybe even, I haven't tried this placement, but I'm honestly considering even testing out this placement, because it gives the enemy more time to run up towards your team and clump up around the Thorin. And that is also good for Scarlita when she descends. But either way, this is the team I have been running and it's working out, so I haven't tried experimenting with any other placements. And also the good thing is Haven is very safe in the back here. If you're closer to the front, then Haven is more susceptible to being hit with other enemy skills. And Iron in this position we have so he can run towards the back, then he's not really too much of a priority target from the enemy, so he survives for quite some time. And yeah, so this is basically the positioning. Now we will take a look at some replays. And yeah, so as you can tell, Splash normally clears us. I think out of 10 or 20 attempts, only one of them will fail. But the fact that even one of them, we have even a chance of getting a defense success against a really highly upgraded player is really good from this team. And it's really, I did not expect it at all, because Splash is basically in his own league and no one can compete with him. So yeah, okay, so here's Farcalis' team. He is using the same team that we showed and that was able to clear my previous lineup and formation of my arena defense, with the Ludovic and Coco as the sustained supports and damage reduction, Thorin as the tank to protect the front line, and then Vala and Odie as a double threat as damage dealers. I would like him to try a different version of this comp, because also we saw Dream's team, if you guys remember, which was very similar to this, but it had Smokey and Reese instead of Vala and Ludovic. And I think Smokey can be another option if you guys don't have Ludovic for teams like this, and even Reese is a pretty good option to deal with these Scarlita teams. But anyway, so here we go. The Iron is gonna ultimate. My Thorn is going to walk up to the front line, but as you can see, already 2 enemies are grouped up around the Thorn. And now what is going to happen in Iron's next ultimate cast, which is the key one, is going to bring Ludovic as well into the range of Thorn's ultimate. And Thorn is just going to deal a massive burst to Ludovic and actually kill him. So that was really the key point in this fight. And this is why even minor adjustments in your positioning, which can allow the enemies to be more grouped up so that Iron can ultimate and bring them all in front of the Thorn, it makes a big difference, and that is how we basically won this fight. And now Thorin is still protecting the front line. He's not able to be killed. As you can see, even though Vala is on the Haven trying to kill her, trying to deny her energy, we have the enlightening spell. She's protected with the Soul Pact, and she is just not killable by the Vala. So really, Vala just doesn't do too well into this defense, and so that is great. If you can make a defense which counters Vala, it is already a pretty good option, because a lot of people choose to go for Vala on offense, and so yeah, that is why it does well. Now we're going to take a look at some other defenses that we've managed with Jedion. And oh, by the way, I think I forgot to mention, but shout out to Jedion and credit to him, because he was the first one to run this lineup and formation of heroes, and but it was doing well and he was holding a high ranking, so I tried it as well. And like I said, maybe we could reposition the Thorn even further in the back, but because it's been working out for me, I haven't even tried changing it around. So Jedion also tried to attack us. He attacked us with a similar team to what we have, but instead of Damien, he went for Ludovic to see whether this can work. And we can take a look at this. But the thing is, if people bring a mirror match into your team, it won't always consistently be able to clear you. It'll be a bit up to the RNG of which Scarlita manages to wipe off the enemies from the board first. So in this positioning, it's still pretty nice for us because the enemies are grouped up, and another Iron ultimate might even bring the Ludovic into the Thorin ultimate range, but no, it doesn't get cast in time. And now the Haven is going to be brought up close to the Thorin. Yeah, I think this was also based on the RNG, because I don't know if he used the same placement as us, but my Scarlita descending onto the Iron here is maybe not even the best. He already even knocks out my Scarlita, but I think it's just that he's not going to be able to kill us, because even though he got the descend onto the knockout on my Scarlita, the team still is really going to be difficult to take down, as you can see here, because of all the stalling with the Damien crowd control, and also the Damien healing and haste, the Soul Pack protecting the Haven. Haven is still not going down. But I definitely could see with different RNG for sure, I think this team could work. But this is what I mean, that even if someone brings the Scarlita stall team of their own into it, there's no guarantee it's going to work. And now we already got a kill onto the Ludovic in the back. Scarlita has her ultimate back up again, but my Haven is still at full health and alive, and all of my other heroes are at full health too. And if the Scarlita can't wipe people off the board, then she's just a risk, because my Thorin, good damage from his ultimate could just wipe off the Scarlita from the field. But it isn't managing to do it here, but it doesn't really matter, because as you can see, I think we just stall out the fight completely. So this is the thing, even if okay, he got really close to taking us out, so but our Thorin did come back to life. So then we stall it out. But yeah, so this is the idea behind a stall team. Even if your Scarlita gets nuked somehow, if you can kill even one priority target of the enemy, like one damage dealer, like for example in the Odie team, if we kill the Odie and even my Scarlita dies, we're probably still going to be able to stall them out with the Thorin being so tanky, having the multiple lives, and being healed by Haven and Damien, and maybe even Iron crowd controlling the enemies to buy more time. So that was that. And Booster did manage to clear us, but it is not so consistent for him, so he doesn't attack me that much like with his Dionel team. We can watch the replay because it does get a little bit close. Okay, so we have Booster's replay. He is using the confining spell to try and lock me down, but still that will not affect the Haven. So Haven will be immobile, or free to cast her spells and her normal attacks throughout the fight. So Granny does run up, and Thorin is kind of in an awkward position. My Thorin is in an awkward position, is not able to do his damage effect. I don't think this is going to contact the Dionel here. I think he's just far enough that he won't get hit with this. But against the Dionel teams, oh, he does get hit with it, but it's just not enough damage because there isn't really any damage focus on the Thorin right now. So the Scarlita is going to descend. Our Scarlita descends on not really a great target. It is on the Haywin. And that's why I was thinking if we could even position our Thorin further back to kind of bring out the enemies a bit further onto our battlefield, maybe it would be better. But even here, as you can see, Thorin does go down for his first life, but my Scarlita is still getting work off in the back, already knocking off 2 enemies. And definitely with the RNG, this enemy Scarlita is almost down. He is definitely going to clear it here, no question about it, but you can see what I mean. There is a bit of a chance for us to win, and sometimes then people will just choose not to attack your defense if it is a bit left up to chance. But yeah, that was, I think the problem with that was our Scarlita descended on his Haywin rather than a grouped up enemy team. And the number 2 thing was our Thorin didn't get that much damage off, which is with his damage reflection. But either way, he has both Dionel and Scarlita both well built up. And so to be able to compete with that is going to be difficult with only one Celestial Hypogean on our team. But still, the fact that it can compete is pretty nice. And now we're going to look at Splash's replay. So here, Paragon for Scarlita and all Paragon 3 heroes with Dionel, with Burial. I don't know how it managed. Honestly, I don't know how it managed to win, because you just saw the team that Wooster brought that had a much lower ascension on the heroes, and it did clear us, but I guess there was some RNG in that. So I really want to watch this replay and see what happens here. So we group up the team really nicely at the beginning of the fight. And Dionel is, I think the thing is, he's going to get off a lot of damage at the beginning, so my Thorin is going to get a good damage reflection and maybe even knock out 1 or 2 of his heroes. Already as Dionel is casting, and my Iron has already been killed. But Haywin is really well protected, as you can see from the Soul Pact and the Lightning Spell. My Scarlita descends perfectly. And probably what happens is my Scarlita ultimates first somehow, or knocks people off the battlefield. Yeah, if the Scarlita can descend onto a fully clumped up enemy team, it's her dream come true, and she can begin knocking off enemies from the battlefield. And so that is going to be how we win it right here. But it is pretty amazing, definitely, because he has a really highly ascended team. Overall, though, like you have seen, and I can show you my logs, like he has attacked me probably 20 times and we've only gotten 1 win. But because he's such a higher ranking, when we get that 1 win, we get 19 points, and from all the other ones, we only lose 1 point. So overall, it kind of helps us hold in whatever position we're at. So anyway, of course this is a showcase of Scarlita's stall, but it also is the showcase of the team positioning. And looking at all of these replays, I am really interested in trying out a positioning even further back, because this is basically the furthest back you can have with a Thorin. But I think maybe one issue that could happen here is maybe the enemies might begin clumping around the Iron and prioritizing him because Thorin is not up high enough. So I think probably the reason why we are not able to put Thorin all the way in the back is for that reason. But you could even maybe consider something like Scarlita here and Iron back further, and then hopefully they would still be targeting the Thorin and walking up towards him. Yeah, I'm tempted to try this team, and we're pretty safe in our ranking right now, so I'm going to test this out and I'll let you guys know about this. But the positioning really matters, because when I had my previous positioning, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was something like this. And I think maybe I had Confining Spell, I can't remember, but this was getting cleared by Farcalis's Ludovic Odie team. Like 3 out of 4 times he would attack me, was clearing it. But now with this change of positioning, we have managed to usually get the win against him. He's attacked us multiple times. I don't think he has cleared our defense yet. So I'm going to try this positioning to maybe bring out the enemies even further and try to have them clump around the Thorin. But this is definitely the tried and tested formation that does really well. So it is up to you guys what you want to try. And of course this is about Scarlita. If you don't have Scarlita, you are probably better off running Carolina and Arden in a nuke type team. Or maybe even Elsa and Elmas now is the more favored crowd control version of that team. If you have Elsa and Elmas built up along with Damien, Iron, and maybe even Thorin or Granny as the final hero option. Or probably Arden, Elmas, Elsa. And then your other two, Iron, Damien maybe. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will try to do more of this arena content because it seems you guys are more interested in this. And it is very exciting to know. And definitely when the new update comes, because they mentioned they're going to be adding friendly battles to attack your friends in arena fights. And that will be a way we can test a lot of different formations and get a better idea of which teams do the best. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hopefully will see you guys in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.